Shalom, shalom, Miss Pacha. I hope you all are doing well and having a great day of rest. I wanted to talk about a few things that have been on my mind for, I'd say, over a week now. And I just really feel led to share this. And I feel that there are other of you, Miss Pacha family out there, that are kind of feeling the same way, talking about these devices that we hold in our hands, these phones. And before I get into it, I'm just going to say that I'm not going to disclose all my plans here, but I do plan, in the future to set myself away from, to separate myself from the devices that we have. And that'll probably start with me downgrading to a flip phone again, like I did when I was in Hawaii for 2 years. It was such a barakah because I was able to, focus more, and I was able to get away from these smart devices. And I noticed during that time it was such a relief, and it was so freeing to not have that tendency to always look at this screen, this black scrying mirror, right? And I noticed when I was at job sites with other workers in Hawaii that they were just always glued to their phones at lunchtime. And I took a phone at one time, investigated into it, and took it apart and saw that it was just all kinds of wickedness inside. And I was like, how do these things even work? These black screens. And I just think it's wicked. And we have been integrated into this. And this is what I wanted to talk about in this short video, is that I feel that there's a shift that's happening. Like, there is so much AI happening now that people that you would not expect, even followers of Yahuah and Yahusha, are using AI pictures and other things. And it is just becoming so attached to everyone's life. And I wanted to show some things today about the word internet, and the word web, and just some insights about a lot of the words that we see around, cell phone and all these things, right? Like, this whole transhumanist AI agenda that is coming and here already is just like a big snare and a trap, everyone. And if we can limit or come out of these things before it is just too hard to, the better. So I wanted to also share here the word inventions. If you look up in the scriptures, I'll share a couple of verses here from the Blue Letter Bible. Thus, they provoked him to anger with their inventions. They provoked Yahuah. And the plague break out upon them. This is Talahim, Psalms 106:29. And Talahim 106:39 says, thus were they defiled with their own works, and went a-whoring with their own inventions. So with our hand represents our power, right? And when it also represents works. The yod represents the yad, which is the right hand, also represents works. So what do we have in our hands all the time? We have these things, and we cannot seem to do any work without it because everything is tied to these things. Our banking, our communication and everything, emails. And a lot of things get lost in translation through it because you can't have a correct fellowship, or you can't have a correct relationship with someone through these devices. It's just not authentic enough, right? And so we notice in even the scriptures that I wanted to talk about some other things here too, so I'll just share this picture. But in scriptures, it talks about casting your net on the right side, and the 153 fish, or the Yahuah shows us to cast the net on the right side. Well, I feel like the net, the internet, the world web is like equivalent to the enemy casting his net also, but on the left side, and catching people, catching cells of people, cell phones, and interlocking everything and everyone together. And now they're even putting things inside people, as we know, that hook up to the 5 and the G, and it's just one invention after another to trap you into their system of control. And so everywhere you go in society, you will see this. You will see people just not interacting with each other, but bowing down to their screens, their phones, their idols. And we must face the facts. These are an idol, because anything that takes your time away from Yahuah too much, you pick it up for 10 minutes to see what everyone's doing, even on the Shabbat, and then before you know it, you're looking into things and you're reading other people's stuff and you're watching a video, and then pretty soon you've been on there for 2 or 3 hours or something. This happens so much because this is the way that they have created everyone. They have created it to be addicting. Right? So I wanted to share, and I'm not going to really necessarily link this video, but I watched this video the other night about this guy on here, named on the screen. He had a lot to say about, what's happening. And he was a whistleblower. He was talking on the, what's it called? Redirect or redacted. I mean, and it really did hit home in a way. But then at the same time, I feel like a lot of these people that are not in the truth, they may have some truth of what the enemy is doing, but it is all built upon fear. And he was saying in this video that basically everyone will have to basically go to their city councils or something like this and basically opt out and tell everybody in writing that we are not, basically consenting to all this, or we are not, part of this, so that we can not be intertwined with all of that they're trying to do to people. Because truthfully, yes, whenever we sign up for something, whether it's on a website, an app, or whatever, it is giving our consent. But I believe that what Yahuah has shown us with these times is that, with the world web, and what's happening with this beast system, we have to come out of it as much as possible. But the only one that can truly save us from all the things that are coming upon this Eretz, this earth, is Yahushua. And the reason I say that is because no matter what you think, if you will go to the government, let's say, and say, well, I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that, and you're going to sign affidavits and contracts and legal documents and all of that, they are so bent against us and so wicked that they have made probably 20, 30, 40, 100 different things to entrap you in something else in a different way. from our birth certificates all the way out through our cell phone contracts to our registration for our vehicles, for whatever. But I think what we got to do now, family, is we've got to start going in the other direction and getting ourselves as far away from all of the system as we can. And the only way to do that is to actually physically and spiritually remove ourselves from it. So it's not an easy thing to do. And there will be a lot of, people just not being able to stay in contact with you anymore. And this is a sad thing, but I feel that a lot of our work to be real servants in these times is to do the physical work. We can do work online, but a lot of our work that needs to be done and we're neglecting right now is the work that is in our communities and around with our people that we are around, and actually using the time that we have to learn a new thing, learning how to fish, learning how to hunt, learning how to build our own home away from the society or whatever it takes, like Noah, right? Going and just separating himself from the world, but building what Yahuah has put upon him to build. And if we are true servants, like I have felt many times in my ministry, I just want to serve others. I get, shamka, joyfulness in delivering the word to others and helping to feed others, to do whatever I can to service others, right? As Yahushua washed the feet of his Talmudim, we are not greater than our master, and we must do all those things. And if we are just bickering and battling and doing all these things on the internet, but wasting our time, our precious time, to do the physical work also, I think this is the way Hasatan has made it so that people are just on their devices too much. And this is why for 2 years, I think about 4 years ago I did this, 4 to 5 years ago when I first woke up really strongly from this world, Yahuah told me just to get rid of it, and I did. And the only reason I went back into getting an iPhone again was because of contacting you all and being on YouTube and having fellowships and Shabbat gatherings and all those things and trying to find my mishpachah all around the world. But now I believe, everyone, that this AI system is so bad. It is so being integrated slowly and faster, actually, into everyone's lives. I don't personally use it, and I never will. But even the video I shared just recently in this picture with this guy, I know he is probably a real person, but I just felt the way that he was delivering his speech was almost like it was almost too clean. It was almost like it was possibly AI. And so I was looking at his actions and his motions and his mouth to see whether it was. But I do believe that there are people out there, whistleblowing and doing these things. But I also believe that the enemy uses certain people to steer us up into fear. See, we are to love everyone, even our enemies, and not have fear, because fear is actually the opposite of belief. And in Revelation, it tells us that we must not have fear. So Yahushua can and will protect and save us from all these things. And if we don't have that belief, then we will not make it. All this connectivity and all that they are doing, even coming after, like right now, they're trying to come after homeless people, and they're making laws and bills to put them into facilities and all of that. Like, this is all by design, people. They're trying to implement this control system to where you can't even live on your own outside of their system. But that is why we must have Yahushua and his protection. He will hide us, and he will do all that he can to get us through these things. But we will have trials and tribulations in these times, everyone. But count it all joy, Shamka, because the trying of our faith, our belief, by the refining of fire and the refining to make us into gold and silver, to be those precious stones that Yahushua has made us to be, we must go through these afflictions. We must go through all this because we are not greater than our Adun, our master. And so I just want to say this to say, think about these things, everyone. When would be the right time? And pray about it, Palal about it, that Yahuah would give you understanding of when to come out of certain things, and especially these phones, because I don't think there's anyone here that can deny that these things have taken too much of our attention, too much of our, just everyday lives. And I believe that it was 100% made by the enemy to cause so much control. It is a tool of control, an invention of control and tracking. And so if we want to be outside of the system, which they are making it to be, where if you don't have your internet, you won't be able to buy anything. If you don't have your connections and your apps and all that, you won't be able to do anything. But that will be okay. That will be all right for us, because we will be outside of that system anyways. So with that being said, everyone, think about these things. I know for me, that time is coming, probably, within these next few months. I'm not sure exactly when. And I will probably still have a phone number, but I will not be doing a lot of texting or using my phone as a computer anymore. It will just be something that I will use for work, to call my boss and him to call me or whatever. And, all of you and Mishpaka that want to talk. But I will not be spending the rest of my life soaking up 2 or 3, 4, 5 hours a day on these inventions, these devices that are against Yahuah, because there are so many times when we could be studying and reading, and we are all guilty of it. I think we are all guilty of it, because I don't think there's any of us that can say that we have not, gotten on our phones and spent an hour or two and then regretted it and said, man, I could have used all that time to seek Yahuah. So sometimes we must cut off our hand, figuratively speaking, as the scripture says, pluck out your eye, do whatever you must to get rid of the device that causes you to hata, to sin. And I believe it'll be hard, but it'll also be a relief, because they want to control us more and more with these devices. And we need to separate ourselves from everything, people. So with that being said, pray about these things. Don't do anything that I'm doing. Don't do anything without, bringing it to Yahuah, our Abba. But just know that this is why I don't do a lot of videos and posts as much as I used to, because I just, even though it's important to share with others, I feel that all the time that I spend online, because during the week I have to work so much, all the time we spend online is just time away from the Most High. And, it's just getting to be to where it's just not worth it anymore. It's not worth putting our faces in these devices anymore. And so with that being said, everyone, I love each and every one of you. Yahuah will gather us and bring us all together to be in one accord. He will bring us to his Kodash mountain. He will cleanse us, wash us free from all of these devices, all of the things that we have done. If we are obedient to be his servants, to walk in his ways, to keep his commandments, and to not consent to any other further things of this system, we must place ourselves out of it so that we truly will be seen as the ones that are separate and called out by Yahuah to be separate and different. We will be the people that he has made us to be. So with that, everyone, shalom, shalom. Until next time.